All right, so we're back and ready to jump into another deep dive.
Definitely.
And today,
Looking forward to it.
yeah, we've got a really interesting Premier League match to analyze.
Mm-hmm.
Chelsea versus Aston Villa. And,
Mm.
I was looking at the pre-match analysis, and I got to say,
Yeah.
even for someone who follows the Premier League pretty closely,
Mm-hmm.
this one's got some head-scratching stats in there.
Oh, absolutely. This is a really interesting matchup.
Yeah.
You've got, on the one hand, Chelsea.
Right.
They've been really dominant in the UEFA Conference League.
Yeah.
And for those maybe who don't follow that as closely,
Right.
that's the third tier of European club competition. So
Okay.
they're doing really well there. But then you look at their home performance in the Premier League,
It's
and
like, I don't get.
it's a completely different picture.
Totally.
And then on the other side, you've got Aston Villa.
Right?
They've been struggling to get a win lately.
Yeah, they have.
But they actually have a surprisingly good record at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah, so let's dig into that a little bit.
Okay.
Because I was really surprised when I saw that Chelsea, they've got a perfect win rate in the Conference League.
Yeah.
But then at home in the Premier League,
Right.
only 9 out of 22 points
Yeah.
earned there. Like,
I know.
what is going on?
Well, some analysts have suggested it might be the new manager's tactics.
Okay,
They seem to be a lot more effective in away games,
interesting.
where there's less pressure on them to kind of dominate possession.
I see.
Another thing to consider is their defense.
Okay.
They've had this historically bad start defensively at home. No clean sheet in their first
Right.
Premier League matches at Stamford Bridge.
Really?
The last time that happened was way back in the 79 season.
Oh, wow, that's a long time ago.
Yeah, it is.
So let's talk about Aston Villa now.
Okay.
Because like you mentioned, they haven't won a match since like mid-October.
It's been a rough patch for them.
It has, and and then the analysis said that they could potentially be looking at 5 winless games in a row, which would be a first under Unai Emery.
Exactly.
So not exactly the best momentum coming into this match.
True. But their recent draws against Crystal Palace and Juventus might indicate that things are starting to turn around, particularly that draw against Juventus in the Champions League.
Yeah.
That's got to be a huge confidence booster for them.
Totally.
And here's the real kicker. They've actually been undefeated in their last 4 visits to Stamford Bridge.
Wow.
2 wins and 2 draws.
Wow. Okay. So what is it about Stamford Bridge that seems to work for them?
Well, one key factor could be Aston Villa's tactical approach under Emery. They really favor this quick counter-attacking style of play.
Right.
And considering Chelsea's defensive vulnerabilities at home, that could play right into their hands.
I remember actually watching Villa's last win at Stamford Bridge.
Oh, yeah.
And their energy was just, it was amazing. And, just their ability to absorb that pressure from Chelsea and then just hit so quickly on the break. It was really impressive.
Absolutely. And they've definitely got the players who can really hurt you on the counter.
Right.
Ollie Watkins, for instance.
Yeah.
He just seems to have this knack for scoring against Chelsea in their recent away matches.
Yeah, he does.
His movement and finishing are definitely going to be a real threat for Chelsea's defense.
Absolutely. Now, on the Chelsea side, though, we have to talk about Nicolas Jackson.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, he's been so consistent
He has.
at scoring the opening goal this season.
Yeah.
Second only to Chris Wood in the Premier League.
It's remarkable.
It is.
Yeah.
And I feel like, if Chelsea can get that early lead,
Yeah.
it could be a total game changer.
Definitely. Even at home, that could really shift their confidence.
Totally.
And it would force Aston Villa to be a lot more proactive.
Right.
Potentially leaving more space for Chelsea's attacking players.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how Emery sets up his team to counter that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So just to kind of recap here for our listener, we've got Chelsea struggling at home, but still very dangerous in attack.
Right.
Aston Villa on a winless streak.
Yeah.
But with this really solid record at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah. It's true.
And a tactical approach that could really exploit some of those weaknesses that we've seen from Chelsea.
Yeah.
So what does all this mean for our listeners?
Well, it really raises the question.
Yeah.
Can Aston Villa, despite their recent struggles, leverage that strong record at Stamford Bridge and really capitalize on Chelsea's defensive vulnerabilities to pull off an upset?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, we've laid out all the key stats, the trends, the potential tactical approaches.
For sure.
So now it's up to you, the listener, to decide.
Absolutely.
Do you think that Aston Villa can overcome that winless streak? Take advantage of that shaky home form from Chelsea? Or will Chelsea find a way to just break through and get back on track. It's going to be a fascinating match.
Can't wait.
I can't wait to see what happens.
Me too.
All right, that's going to do it for this deep dive.
Thanks for having me.
We'll see you next time.
Sounds good.